バトラさん。
Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Umineko When They Cry, episode 6, where Battler is shoved into a corner, potentially. And if he does not have a good response as to how things actually have gone down here, where Battler's piece in the story ended up here, then his whole story doesn't make any sense anymore. I want to say that there's still a way to go about things here. Unless I'm missing some sort of, core detail, I truly believe that there is a whole nother person that is in this room that we have not accounted for, or something that would allow for Battler to somehow get out of here.
あなたが私をチェックメイトすると予告した2手目をお願いします。
エリカ卿の復唱要求にお答えください。応ずるか拒否するか。
Slowly, Battler's hand stretched out to his king piece on the board. He lifted it up and slowly held it aloft, tracing a large circle in the sky. Would Battler respond or wouldn't he? Would the lock caused by the chain be preserved or wouldn't it? Would Battler's king crush the piece of the chain lock that stood right in front of it? Or would it slip away like a ghost and escape? See, I actually don't even know if it's truly possible to escape through the door anymore because, some packing tape was used to, I guess, fix the chain. But is the packing tape being used to show that the chain was undone? I don't know about that, which it really depends on how that is actually, what that detail is. Because my prediction here won't work if that is actually the case, where it's just sealed up. Well, what do we got? Battler's king had become a black lightning bolt that crashed down onto the board. Where had it gone? On top of the piece of the chain lock? Or past that piece? Battler's king had left the chain lock piece in its place and had slipped past it.
そうですね。ここでチェーンロックは維持したままだと言えたらかっこいいですよね。そりゃあかっこいいでしょうね。でもね、かっこいいからってだけでなんていうか知ってます？
さあ、
後宮バトラって言うんですよ。
Okay, calm down.
ロジックエラー動議を申請。あんたの今の赤き真実は今。中立審判員は直ちにジャッジメントを行ってください。大ラムダデルタ卿。道義受理、ラムダデルタ、ロジックは通るのね。検証を。
道義受理。バトラ見せなさい。あんたのカード。
I thought we already did this.
バトルさあ、ロイヤルストレートなのよね。100なしだったらごめんなさいじゃ済まないのよ。
ああ、ごめんなさいで済ます気は。
ロジックエラーになったらゲーム版がぶっ飛ぶのよ。あんたはベアトからこのゲーム版を受け継いだわ。あんたの大切なベアトから受け取った唯一の形見なんでしょ。だからあんたは断じてロジックエラーを受け入れない。
A logic error only becomes established when the witch admits to it. As long as they can keep thinking of new logic to escape with, they will not die, cannot die. However, that would be like living in an endless living hell of the mind.
あんたは永遠に思考の闇に落ちて這いずり回ってもロジックエラーを拒否して、この密室から出る方法を永遠に考え続ける地獄に閉じ込められるのよ。いいのね。 のね。それって暴虐の深淵の次くらいに辛いわよ。10階建てビルの屋上と100階建てビルの屋上から飛び降りる程度の差しかないけれど。
ラムダ、バトラはもう手を差し終えた。一度刺した手はやり直さない。あなたは公正を誓った審判としてバトラの密室脱出ロジックが有効かどうか、ロジックエラーでないかどうかを判断しなさい。考古学者のようにゆっくりと緻密に慎重に。そしてアイスクリーム屋が甘くて香ばしいバニラ醤油味のアイスをディッシャーで
I'm not really liking these metaphors
手際
here.
よく書き取るように素早くね。
They're very weird.
ええ、バトラ、それでは拝見するわ。バトラさん、
ベアト、俺が負けると
思いたくありません。あなたはかつての私と何度も戦い、私が望んでやまなかった奇跡に。だからきっと今回も奇跡を勝ち取ると信じて。
ベアトリーチェって女はな、そういう理性と狂気のギリギリでずっと戦ってきた。俺に対する怒りと悲しみと言葉で言い表せない。そして一番最後のゲームの最後の最後で見事勝ち取ったんだ。
That might have been the purpose of the card Beato had been gripping as she fell. Beato passed away without realizing that she had won. In the final game, the true victor was Beato.
そのベアトから俺はこのゲーム版を預かった。だから俺は勝つ。だからお前だけは信じろ、ベアトリーチェ。
Yeah, I mean, hey, I've got Battler's back too.
信じて、奇跡が起こるなら。
頼む。
信じます、バトラさん。
うわー、うぜー。
Yeah, there is a lot of suspense for this.
とっとと確認してください、ラムダデルタテオ。ないんですよ、ロジックなんて。この密室から出る方法なんて存在しない。勇み足でしたよ、バトラさん。そりゃあこれで勝てればかっこいい。チェーンが破られてないのに姿を消せたなんて最高、かっこいい。不思議、泣いて。切るわけねえ。できるわけねえんですよ。これができたらまさに魔女。この密室から姿を煙のように消せたら認めるしかない。魔女の仕業だって。
Okay, yeah, again, we really gotta, get done with all this suspense because Erica's losing her shit here.
エリカ今日は静かにラムダデルタ級の検証中です。
Come on, Lambda Delta, what do you got?
通って行って戻って詰めて。
With sweat gathering on her forehead, Lambda Delta inspected the movements of the pieces from Battler's side. She was as accurate and meticulous as an archaeologist, just as Bernkastil had told her to be. After gulping stiffly, Lambda looked several times between the formation of the pieces on the board and Battler's face, which remained tense but steady.
ラムダ。
The thing is that it's not going to be declared what was done necessarily. It's just whether or not there was logic behind it.
検証終了したわ。
ロジックが通るわけがない。
神様。
And here we go. Come on, Lambda
Erika.
Delta.
なんです。
とても
どっちの意味にも取れるような。
楽しかったぜ。これで終わりだ。
だからどっちの意味だって言ってんですか。
Yeah, the way that he delivered this, like, it could go either way here.
静粛に。バトラの手の検証を終了したわ。判定は
Come on, game, please.
効。
There we go. There we fucking go.
言う？
嘘よ。
判定は有効よ。赤き真実すべてに抵触しないロジックの提出を受け、魔女側プレイヤーの手および最後の復唱要求に応じた赤き真実は有効。バトラー、あんたを初めてすごいと思ったわ。
な、お前のゲームはな、信じれば奇跡が必ず起こるんだよ。
Yeah, yeah, and a group of like 5 or 6 friends, you know, a miracle can happen there too if you all believe.
バトラーさん、ごめんなさい。もっと強く信じていればこんなところまで追い詰められることは。
I mean, come on, have we not learned anything from Higurashi? Come on. Beato flew onto Battler's chest, sobbing. Erika staggered backwards, shaking her head back and forth dizzily. And Bernka still? Her face was like an expressionless mask. Then slowly it became a smile. And for some reason it seemed the sign of some horrible emotion.
見事です。よもやチェーンを破らずにこの密室を抜け出すとは感服です。
With her small hands, Delanor slowly started to applaud quietly. She was followed by Gertrude and Cornelia, and then by Beato and Lambda Delta too. Applause filled the room. Damn, a rare Battler W.
お兄ちゃん、どうやって。
なるほど。思考が密室にとらわれたものには見えぬ手か。
ありえない。ありえない。
Wait, that line actually... What if there was nobody in the room? If the room was resealed, then can Battler unseal it? And could somebody, like, take his place inside the room and then go into hiding, maybe? Like, I think a lot of the clues that we've gained, a lot of the red is in, like... We have to consider the time of which we are being told a lot of these things. If we think outside the box, there may have been other ways things could have gone down. In episode 4, we even learned that the identity and how people are referred to can actually be changed, which had an effect on episode 3, I believe. We're thinking outside the box in that case, no? So was that how Battler escaped? With the help of somebody else? Maybe not in the way that I first actually, like, worded it, but maybe in a way where somebody still came to his rescue. I don't know how the timing of all that would work, but I feel like pieces got shifted in such a way that allowed Battler to leave, even so from the perspective of just what we're seeing from Erika's viewpoint, it wouldn't make sense. As Lambda Delta watched Erika, who was breathing hard, shocked and dizzy with a despair she couldn't accept, she had to take her hat off to the swiftness of Battler's heart and intellect, and to the power of this miracle. Incredible. Ushiromiya Battler. It's my complete loss for thinking that your power and Beato's would cancel each other out and bring an eternal draw. And Bern, who thought everything would move according to her plan, even though she already knew your true strength, has also suffered a complete loss. Bern is the witch who waits for miracles. You are the witch who summons miracles. You are not Bern's peace. Just now, without a doubt, you have surpassed Bern. You really did. In this one moment, think up a trick by which to escape from this closed room. As Erika had predicted, Battler had been hiding in the closet. Then, during the disturbance in the bathroom, he had snuck out of the door. Erika had guessed this much. That's why they retroactively set the chain lock and sealed it to prevent Battler from doing this very thing. The chain lock cannot be reset from the outside, so it should have been impossible to escape from the closed room, but it can still be set from the inside. However, Battler didn't let this thinking get trapped inside this closed room, and so he broke through. It doesn't matter who, but let's explain it with his mother, Kirie's piece. Just like Battler, the life or death status of the rest of the first Twilight victims has not been specified by the Red Truth. In other words, just like Battler, the others, and Kirie specifically, can still move. And their closed rooms were not sealed, so they can go out as they please. Kirie had come to save him. Kirie followed behind Erika and waited in the hallway while the latter entered the guest room and sealed the door from the inside. Then, after Battler undid the chain lock and escaped, she entered the room in his place. So I was right. God damn, guys, did I actually predict something successfully for the first time in Umineko When They Cry? God damn. You know what? This calls for a pizza party. Everybody load up your local pizza place app or whatever and order at least like 2 medium pizzas. Like at least 2 medium or 1 large, you know, just get some pizza, a soda, 2-liter soda. It's time to celebrate. And honestly, if you're an alcoholic, you know, grab some alcohol. I get it. I'm with you on it. Then Kirie reset the chain lock from the inside and hid in the closet just like Battler had done. Yes, Battler truly isn't inside the guest room right now. However, that doesn't mean that no one else is inside it. Kirie took Battler's place in the closet, the one exception that Erika had left and is there still. Kirie saved Battler, or somebody did.
Ushiromiya Kirie ni wa Battlerを救えない。
Uh-oh. Huh?
どういうことよ。Ushiromiya Kirieにはバトラーを救えません。どうしてよ。キリエにバトラーを助けられない赤き真実はないわ。というかあんた、どうして赤き真実が使えるの？
Yeah, wait a minute.
有効よ。ドラノールの赤き真実は有効よ。
石剣抜刀許可申請。
許可します。やってください、ドラノール。
Okay, but how?
どうして？
Like, how is she coming up with this, like, you know, factual information?
どうしてあんたがそれを許可できるのよ。
有効よ。公正なジャッジメントとして私がこの赤き真実を保証するわ。
理由の開示なく？
すぐに開示するわ。すぐにね。
キリエの死亡宣言をバトラーは赤き真実で語っていないわ。キリエには死んだふりが許される。そしてガムテープの封印は3部屋を使い切り、キリエの部屋を封じることはできないはず。なのにどうしてキリエにバトラーが救えないなんて赤き真実が使えるの？赤き真実の根拠がないわ。
根拠はすぐに教えるわ。さあ、それよりラムダ、キリエではロジックを通せなくなったわ。バトラと入れ替わる他の駒にロジックを差し替えなさい。
バトラーを助けられる駒は
Reconstruct the logic. All we need is someone who can switch places with Battler. It doesn't have to be Kirie.
なら夏日に差し替えるわ。後ろ宮夏日がバトラと入れ替わったのよ。
ドラノール、やっちゃってください。
良いです。
Okay, but like, how are they able to say in red that they for sure could not have helped Battler here? Delanor's red longsword smashed Natsuki's piece into little bits. How? How can Erika deny this logic without the detective's authority?
後ろ宮夏日にはバトラを救えません。じゃあエヴァ、後ろ宮エヴァ。
I don't understand.
後ろ宮エヴァにはバトラを救えません。じゃあローザ、マリア。無駄です。ローザにもマリアにも救えないのです。です。
Ah, shit, she's going at it again.
代打です。
She's doing the damn thing again. So what does this all mean, though? Their deaths haven't been verified. Were the rooms resealed in some sort of way?
はい、イギ先生、エリカさんは探偵権限を持たないはずです。その彼女がどうしてガムテープの封印以外の赤き真実を使えるのですか？
異議却下、探偵権限を持たないことがすなわちあるのね。ねえ。
ええ、あるんです。探偵権限を持たない人間にも許されている。
バカな、そんなもの。
はい、ありはしません。しかし探偵権限を持たない人間にだけ許されたある行為は魔女によって容易に赤き真実に昇華できるほどの圧倒的信頼性を持った真実。探偵以外の人間に許されたある行為。
まさかエリカ、お前。
ピーンときたわ。なるほどね。私の想像が当たっているならそれは有効だわ。わかりません。探偵権限がないことによって許される力なんてあるんですか？
I mean, if they were like restrained or something.
ある。一つだけある。
If they were restrained and literally could no longer move, even if they were playing dead, I can see that being a problem.
ようやく気づかれましたか？そうです。私はその力を得るためだけに今回探偵権限を放棄したのです。あなたは気が向いたらいつでも探偵宣言をしていいと言ってくれましたね。でも残念なことに探偵宣言が出せないんです。
ノックス、何条だ？
ノックス第7条で探偵が犯人であることを禁ず。
Wait, what?
そんな。
Finally, Beato realized something, or everything. Yes, the detective's authority bestows several powers that are useful for reasoning, but it eliminates one single privilege. That is Nox's 7th. It is forbidden for the detective to be the culprit.
今回のゲームでは探偵権限のない人間には完全な検視はできない。だから死者は全員死んだふりで、それで自在に歩き回って数々のトリックを行っている。そのロジックで以後の不可能犯罪を進めようと思われていたのでしょう。私が探偵宣言をしないと言い出した時、あなたは内心これで勝ったと思ったはずです。あなたも狡猾ですね。ガムテープの封印を与え、一見慈悲を与えたように見せましたが、結託して以後の犯行を行える手はずを整えてあったからです。ですから6人を下回る3部屋分しか与えなかったのです。どの部屋をどう封じようと、あなたの手下は誰かが自由に行動できる。そのあたりからうまく私を追い込んでいこうと企んでいたのでしょう。しかし残念ですね。つくづくあなたの甘さにはうんざりします。バカな男です。
認める。お前らの猿芝居にまんまと騙され、お前に慈悲を与えるというおごりを見せたことを俺は認める。そうだ、探偵権限などなくても人間にはあるんだ。絶対検視を誤らない方法が。
You have to kill them yourself? Is the human lying in front of you alive or dead? You can answer that question by examining the corpse. With just a quick glance, your chances of being right are 50-50 either way. Various bits of knowledge and experience can be used to obtain a more precise result. However, no matter how much you do that, while you can reach up to 99%, you can never reach 100% accuracy. That's what most people would think. However, there is one way to conduct a perfect examination.
殺すということです。
God damn it.
エリカ。
探偵権限のない私には犠牲者たちが死んでいるのかそのふりをしているのか判別がつきません。ですからそれを確定させる必要がありました。
Okay, hold on. I know that we're playing like a glorified game of chess here, or whatever you want to call it, this game board. But if they were actually dead, wouldn't Battler have already been informed in some sort of way? Him finding out right now as like a dramatic, like, uh-oh, you were wrong. Like, I feel like that's a betrayal to his own game, you know? He would have had to know something if he's the game master.
そしてそれはできることなら彼らがおとなしく駒置き場に退場してくれて以後のゲームをおかしな形でかき回さないでくれることが望ましいのです。だから私は慌ただしい屋敷内を駆け巡り全ての現場を訪れ全員をしっかりと
God
殺し
damn
直
it,
したの
man.
です。
God damn it.
なんという
Does that actually include Battler?
もちろん殺し方も何でもいいわけじゃないわ。赤き真実で死を断定できるほどに完璧な殺し方でなくてはならない。エリカはそれをしっかり踏まえて殺したわ。殺す行為そのものはいろいろだけどその後に殺した全員の頭部を完全に切断したわ。
Ah.
これは赤き真実に昇華するに十分な殺し方よね、ラムダ。
有効よ。頭部を切断されて生きながらえる人間など存在しない。
Okay, again, I don't really know if I like this. I feel like there's been, like, way too many retroactive pieces of bullshit going on here. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. In a way, I feel like that could also benefit us in previous games if we were to look back and see, like, okay, let's look back at, like, prior events and see if, like, anything could have changed in a way to affect current events. But we've never really had a situation like that until here, and maybe even a bit in episode 5 when the packing tape was actually revealed.
返り血も浴びずに何人もの頭部を切断なんてできるんですか？
例えば厨房からゴミ用の大きなビニール袋を持ってきてそしてビニールで死体全体を覆いながら作業をすれば返り血はほとんど防げます。
Okay.
もちろん包丁もビニールも人数分用意し現場にそのまま捨てていきました。下手に持ち歩いて血ボタを廊下に走らせたり自分の服を汚したりなんて無様な真似は一切しません。現場には私の指紋のついたビニールなどが残されているでしょうが警察が来るまで物語が続かないこのゲームでは何の物証にもなりませんから捨てていって何の問題にもならない。
ふざけるな。そんなのミステリーで許されると思ってんのか。
Yeah, that's why I'm, like, kind of iffy about it.
それをファンタジー側の魔女に言われるとは心外です。ご安心を。あなたは殺していません。時間の都合で最後に発見されたバトラさんだけ切断の時間が取れなかったのです。ですのでいただいたガムテープで部屋ごと封印させてもらったわけです。いえいえ、このシナリオを読み切ってわざと泳がせたかもしれないわけですがあ、そうだ、殺したと赤で言えるついでにもう一つ赤で言えることがありました。
At that point, Erica stopped for a second, and, can she really be wearing an even uglier expression than everything before now? With that highest quality face, she spoke.
私が殺した5人全員は私が殺す瞬間までちゃんと生きていました。皆さん律儀に殺される直前の瞬間まで頑張って死んだふりをしていましたよ。マリアさんが一番頑張り屋さんでした。だってあの子同じ部屋で先にお母さんが殺されてるってのにずっと気づかずに 死んだふりをしてたんですよ。
I don't know, guys. I'm pretty like, I don't know, can I disagree with all this? They're demons. Up until now, many witches and demons have appeared in this tale, but for the first time, here are true demons. Well, now what? This time, Beato understood the entire plot of this tale. This tale was just the story of a prank. Surely someone had thought of playing a slightly harsh trick on this inconsiderate guest, who loved to show off her intelligence and act the part of a great detective. And several people had agreed to go along with it. Then the ones who would play the victims would go into their assigned rooms, set the chain and the lock from the inside, and play dead to create a fake closed room murder. If you think about it that way, the rooms chosen for the corpses seem to make more sense. It was only natural for Natsuhi to die in her own room. If you're going to play dead, it's only natural you'd want to lie down on your own bed. Ava's vanity is strong, so she must have asked to die in the VIP room. Kirie was in Krause's study. That was probably well air-conditioned and comfortable. Rosa and Maria were in the parlor. A soft sofa should have been a great place to play dead. Maria had done her best and had impressively acted the part of lying dead alongside the wall. Battler was in a guest room. The temperature here was also nice. The bed must have also been fairly pleasant. Yes, the victims for this first Twilight had all died in comfortable rooms. In the past games, the corpses had often been found exposed in the courtyard or under the rose garden arbor, in the cold gardening shed or in the boiler room. This time, there were no victims in any such inhospitable environments. This is probably the truth. This is the story of a prank with no one dead from the beginning. You know, except for Kinzo. I mean, but he was dead before the beginning. And then this demon turned it into a real murder case. I don't care if I have the fucking right to speak ill of her. I'm gonna speak ill of her if I so choose.
しかし今はそれによって矛盾の生じたロジックを新しく再提示する義務があります。
灰は灰に、塵は塵に、死体は死体に。さあバトラさん、ゲームを続けましょう。あなたと入れ替わってくれる人間を他に提出してください。でないとあなたのトリック、ロジックエラーになりますよ。
There's now no one who can come to the rescue. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, any of the humans back over in the guest house can definitely come over and help out. Honestly, they could all work together, completely unseal those doors and come rushing out.
バトラさん、心を落ち着けてください。今は涙をこらえて戦いましょう。あなたを助けられる駒は5人を失ってもまだゲストハウスに11人もいます。
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
そうだ、クラウス、秀吉、ルドルフ、ジョージ、ジェシカ、シャノン、カノン、ケンジ、コーダ、熊沢、南條、誰でもいい。誰かここに来られれば、誰か来てくれ。
でもダメ。これを見てくださいよ。ガートルード、コーネリア。
金系、慎んで出頭するものなりや。
バトラさん、これを見てください。
Everything's still sealed up, huh? I hate her so much right now. But anyways, no, like, how can she verify like that all of these are still sealed up? if she's not going back and actually checking. I feel like that would need to be done. Erica, who was now so excited that her pronunciation was tumbling all over the place, pointed at 2 doors. It was the hallway on the 2nd floor of the guest house. They were in front of the cousin room and the next room over.
これ何か扉に貼ってありますよ。これは何？これは何？ねえ何？カートルーノ。
金慶、いとこ部屋のガムテープの封印と知りたまえ。
Very good. One more.
Ah, jeez.
こっちの扉のは？
金慶、隣部屋のガムテープの封印と知りたてまつれ。
Oh, very good. さあお二方、そしてどうぞお茶の間のテレビの前の皆さんもご覧ください。双方の部屋の扉、ガムテープの封印をどうぞご覧ください。さあそのどちらもどうですか？破れてますか？破れてませんか？さあ高らかに赤き真実でお願いします。
金慶、謹んで申し上げる。どちらも破られていないものと知りたまえ。破られていない封印とはすなわち、未だ何者の出入りも拒みたることの証と知りたまえ。
封印を破らずしての出入り、改めて言うに及ばず不可能と知りたてまつれ。
グッドです。バトラー、ご覧の通りです。あなたを助けに来ることができる人間はもはや存在しないのです。
I want to say that we're still in the good here. Like, we got told that all of our red truths have been valid. It all matches everything. And then we get all of these new red truths here that sprung out completely out of bumfuck nowhere. And now everything is suddenly invalid. I feel like this needs to go back to like, okay, Erica, you need to present a different blue truth of some sort here. Battler still got out of that room, but how, you know? And like, come on, I don't know. I don't even know what to think anymore, guys. The victims of the first Twilight have all been killed, and the guest house is still sealed. No one can come to the rescue. There has to be a way, man. There has to. Erica had guessed that this moment might come so long ago, and that was why she had made what am I doing? The move of suddenly sealing these 2 rooms. Strategic. God damn. Sorry, guys. I was having a stroke back there. Maybe it was all that pizza. This answered the doubts Cornelia had felt at the time. Wondering why the human side player wouldn't want as many free humans as possible was a natural, simple reaction to that move. However, if you sealed up all humans, there would be no room for magic to intervene. Why is magic magic? Because the people who see it say that it's magic. Then, is it possible for magic to exist in a place with no people? Does the lack of anti-magic toxin mean that there's no problem? Wrong. Magic in a place that isn't being witnessed is no different from a delusion, a daydream. Magic that matches a result must be carried out by human hands. If all humans are sealed off, then magic cannot be created. This was Erica's strategy for this game and her beautiful checkmate.
さて、誰が助けに来るんですか?
And, you know, things became a little harder for Battler too by saying everyone back then was in the guest house, you know? I feel like that kind of dug a hole for him.
あなたと入れ替わって代わりに浴室にとどまり、内側からチェーンロックをかけてくれた本当の人間を教えてください。いればの話ですが。
さあ、バトラー。
Battler can just change his identity.
あなたのロジックは今断たれている。誰があなたを助けに来てくれたというの？あなたは今ロジックエラーを起こして。
I mean, he would still be in the room, but like, if his identity is different, then I mean everything. Well, I don't know, because there's still a red truth saying that Battler got out.
待て、今それを考えてる。
バトラーには2 2つの権利と1つの義務があるわ。1つの権利は新しいロジックを構築して、もう1つの権利はロジックエラーを潔く認めること。そして1つの義務はそのどちらかを必ず選ばなければならないことよ。
慈悲はあるわ。それを選択することに対し課せられる時間制限は
Oh, sweet.
そうよ。それこそ無限に永遠にあるのだから。
きっとまだ方法が、何か言い逃れのような、へりくつのような、とにかくきっと何かまだ方法が。
Grok, are we fucked?
俺も考えてる。ベアトはどうだ。何かあったら教えてくれ。かつてのベアトならきっとなんとかできるはずなんだ。あいつはこういう密室をいくつも作ってみせたんだ。
Beato felt awful. Why was she Beato and yet not? Surely the old her would have thought up a trick under these restrictions. If only she could do that, she could guide Battler to victory. But she couldn't do it as her current self.
きっといいトリックが思いつくわよ。いつかきっと。多分無理だと思うけど。
ではバトラー、再び客室に戻るわよ。
Let's not.
そここそがこれからのあなたの世界。
Once again, they returned to the slightly chilly guest room. It was the same room as before, of course, but it felt as though an unsettling darkness crept in.
ここがこれからあなたの過ごす部屋よ。どんな方法でもいいから、あなたはこの部屋から抜け出せばいい。
This kind of like lines up actually with what we saw in the beginning and at various points of the story here. This is that guest room.
お分かりと思いますが、それはあなたが自ら貸したものです。まずこの部屋は内側から作られた密室です。窓の封印は健在ですので、窓からの脱出はありません。バスルームからの脱出方法ももちろんない。はっきり断言しましょう。この扉以外に脱出口はありません。しかしこの扉にはチェーンロックがかかっています。外すもかけ直すも自由ですが、それは内側からしかできません。そして扉から出ることさえ自由ですが、チェーンロックがかかっていない状態での退出は脱出とはなり得ません。あなたはチェーンロックを維持したままこの部屋から脱出してみせなくてはならない。
そんなできるわけが。
Okay, really obscure fucking dumbass idea here, but what if he just like undid the door, like completely undid it from the hinges and everything, and like then just kind of put it back together, all while the chain was still set, you know? Would that be sufficient?
できるわけがないの？
Now, in this sort of predicament that he's in here, where he has to be all quick and everything to avoid Erica's gaze and all that, while she's, you know, doing her thing over in the bathroom, getting sprayed by scorching hot water. Yeah, I don't really know if that's necessarily doable in that time frame, but is that like a sufficient way of escape?
自らが作った密室だわ。
一箇所だけ扉とは異なる脱出口を設けておいたわ。それはバスルームにある。
Yep, the drain.
どうしてもバトラさんが脱出するトリックが思いつかない時のための慈悲深い我が主による救済です。慎んで
Brink still guided Battler to the bathroom. It was just a normal bathroom. The setup that had surprised Erica to buy time was no longer working. However, the bundle of wire and the nippers that had been used to prepare that trap still lay in the empty bathtub.
これは脱出のための道具に使ってもいいということか。
どうぞプレゼントするわ。ただし何を使おうとも部屋の外から施錠はできない。封印もごまかせないけれどね。この道具はチェーンロックをごまかすためにあるんじゃないわ。もっと直接的にあなたをこの部屋から脱出させるためにあるのよ。
どうやって使えと。
さすがベル、よくもつくづくそんなえぐいこと。
Gotta cut herself up.
このバスルームから直接外部につながる出口があるわ。どこか見つけられる？
まさか。
ベアトには分かるのか。頼む、教えてくれ。
無理です。
頼む、どこだ。教え。ここでゲームを終わらすわけにはいかねえんだ。
そこ。
どこ？浴槽の下。
あるじゃないですか。この部屋から出て行ける丸い穴が。
ちょっと小さいけれどね。
マイラ。
Yeah, me too, Battler.
そこの浴槽の底の排水口、そこからならチェーンロックを維持したまま外へ出られるわよ。でも確かにその出口から出るにはあなたの体は大きすぎるわ。だからそこから出られるように道具を貸してあげることにしたのよ。
You can escape through the drain? How? She couldn't mean using those nippers for 100 years to widen that hole, right? Battler and Beato had already realized they had figured out this demonic way out of the demons were proposing.
このニッパーであんたの体を通れるサイズにすればいいんです。
プチプチのんびりとお風呂の中で温かなシャワーでも浴びながら自分の体を足の指あたりから少しずつちぎっては流し、それを繰り返せば、あら不思議、あなたはいつの間にか密室を脱出しているわ。
あら不思議ですね、我が主。それって兄弟揃って同じ末路ですね。
でもベル、それじゃあ最後にペンチを握ってる手だけが残っちゃうじゃない。
そこで今度は針金の出番なのよ。あらかじめバトラは手首を針金で縛って、その針金の先端を扉の隙間から廊下へ伸ばしておきなさい。手首くらいならチェーンロックの隙間からもきっと出られるわ。そこまで小さくできたら私が廊下から針金を引っ張ってあなたをそこから救い出してあげるわ。
我が主、引っ張ったらそれバトラの手首。
What the fuck, man?
何に使うやら。でもダメよ、孫の手にするって決めてあるから。そしたらそれであんたの背中もポリポリしてあげるわ。どう？
はい、我が主。
バトラの手首で孫の手。主に背中ポリポリ。
あいつらがうるさい。
Yes, very.
イラつく、ムカつく。
I have to say, this is probably like the first time where I feel gypped a little bit, you know? I feel like I just got my, I feel like I just got a wedgie, you know? Like a mean-ass cartoon-esque wedgie. I feel like I'm being, like, punished for something, too. I don't know. I feel... I don't know how to explain anything right now, guys. I gotta be honest here. Like, this is like the biggest rug pull I think I've personally felt in my playthrough.
大丈夫よ、すぐに静かになるわ。あなたの思考を乱す一切のノイズは永遠になくなるわ。
Maybe I was just really excited for the pizza.
そいつは嬉しいぜ。静かになって。
これは地獄の生還者からの忠告よ。この賑やかさをよく楽しんでおきなさい。あんたをムカつかせる悪行雑言さえ永遠の静寂の中では正気を保つ温かな思い出になりうるんだから。ベルンやエリカが憎いならば、それはベルンたちの選別よ。憎しみがある限りあなたは諦めずに済む。諦めるってのはね、ここでは意味が違うのよ。諦めてなお出られぬ地獄が永遠であることを 今のうちから覚悟なさい。
今あなたは生還者と。じゃああなたも。
私もね、たまにあの恐怖が蘇るのよ。私は本当にあの地獄を抜けられたのかしらって。実は私の心がとっくにおかしくなっていて。
I have a feeling you did.
あの地獄の中に未だいながらここにこうしていて楽しくあんたたちと話をしているという妄想を見ているだけなのかもしれないと未だに悪夢に怯えさせられるの。だから私はこれが夢でないと永遠に感じ続けていなきゃならないの。ねえ、あんたたちは本当に現実？未だに地獄の中にいて壊れた私が見ている妄想じゃないの。ねえ、ねえ。
I mean, come on, guys. We all knew that Lambda Delta, she's got some problems. Brink is still a completely different set of problems that I'm sure we can, you know, draw some pretty good conclusions to. There was something in Lambda Delta's pleading expression that sent shivers down the spine. It was probably more terrifying than any threatening words that she could use, or she could have used, with even the most vile expression on her face. It's time for Battler to realize a logic error isn't so sympathetic that you can just stick out your tongue, ask for forgiveness, and say that you'll be more careful next time. It is never worth risking one by leaving things up to chance, even if you feel that you can't back down at this point in the fight. Well, it's time for him to face reality and learn the true risks and terrors implied by the words, betting one's life on a fight, which must sound so exciting for a man.
バトラさん、しっかり。私も真剣に考えます。この部屋から脱出するトリックを一生懸命考えますから。きっと助けに来ますから。
ベアト。絶対に考えついてやるからな。見てろ。
ではお名残惜しいけど、これで私たちは退出しましょう。これ以上彼の仕事の邪魔はできないわ。
それではまた。バトラさん、あなた風に言うと See you again.
Yes, see you again.
Have a nice day. じゃあね、バトラ、しっかりね。
Yeah, thanks.
バトラさん、絶対諦めないで。必ずトリックは思いつきますから。私も考えて必ず助けに来ますから。
ベアト。
Before he could finish saying Beato's name, they had all disappeared. They hadn't disappeared in a golden spray or turned into butterflies and flown away. Just as though there had never been anyone in this room. Since the beginning, everyone but him had vanished in an instant. Nothing remained. Not their voices, their presence, their warmth, nor even the faint perfume that Beato had worn. The frigid air of the room had wrapped only in the lonely sound of the wind and rain. With that overpowering feeling of isolation, I finally began to realize how horrible a punishment this would be. Yeah, I have a feeling that he's gonna lose himself. He'll wake up, and it's kind of like how we saw at the very beginning of this episode. He doesn't know why he's here. He doesn't know what's going on. And things are gonna get even crazier, too, with, like, trying to escape through, you know, whatever direction, and there's all this crazy bullshit going on saying, no, you can't go this way. Go to sleep and wake up trying to do it again.
こんな部屋簡単に出られるじゃねえか。いいか、部屋ってのはな、出たり入ったりができるようになってるんだぜ。
Yeah, tell that to the poor Sims that got locked in their rooms with no doors or windows.
それができなかったら部屋とは言わねえんだよ。
Wait, there we go, guys. If I just load up the Sims, I can simulate this whole thing. How pointless. It's easy to undo the lock and chain from the inside. Damn it. For some reason, I've always been clumsy, and undoing chain locks always gives me trouble. Oh, it's off. Huh. Well, how pointless. Look, I can already open the door whenever I want. Hey, what's this cold feeling on my neck? What the hell is this? Why is there suddenly this iron collar around my neck that's attached to a chain? Damn it. Who would do something like that? When I reset the chain lock, it disappears. And when I take it off, it appears. The chain is pretty long, so I can make it pretty far out into the hallway, but it won't let me go out of the door. Then if I close the door, stand on the outside and stick my hand through the crack, maybe I can figure out how to set the chain. And here's our loop. Why have I always been so clumsy? I'm not really clumsy, it's just that me and chain locks don't go well together. Damn it, I hate chain locks. I hate chains. Why won't it work? Why can't I set the chain lock from the outside? Damn it, damn it, damn it. I'm not doing the iconic Battler yell. Sorry, guys. Well, we've come full circle on that. Oh, okay. I guess now he's just a husk on the outside. Oh, is this how it came to Erica, like, marrying him for some reason? Beato called out to Battler repeatedly, shaking his shoulders hard, but by now Battler's eyes were blank. The words didn't reach him. Bernkastil and Erica had already left. The game was officially suspended until Battler could think of a new trick, but it was doubtful that it would be resumed even after 1,000 years or more. This actually kind of reminds me of, like, the trance that Beatrice was in. It's as if she had created her own logic error of sorts. I mean, I'm sure she had, but, like, we never ran into them, so we couldn't really call her out on that. But I digress. Who's to say that there were any logic errors at all? Apparently everything could be explained once you figure things out, figure out the gist of stuff, but like I said previously, I do want to go back and revisit the murders at the very least in the previous episodes. I feel like now there might be a lot more to figure out. Logic error be damned.
ごきげんようじゃありません。すぐにトリックを思いついてゲームを再開しますから。お時間は取らせません。だからまだとどまっていてください。
同じ言葉を私たちは何人もの魔女に言わせてきたわ。そうして本当にゲームを再開できた魔女は幾人と知らない。私が知る限り、それは私とベルンだけよ。
どうしてそんな地獄を知っている人がその地獄に人を突き落とすんですか？退屈だから。それだけのために。
ええ、そうよ。退屈から逃げるためよ。退屈になるとね、思い出すからよ、あの地獄を。そしてね、相手を地獄に落とすことによってね、私は突き落とす側の人間なんだ。だからここは地獄じゃないって実感し続けなきゃ、またあの地獄の恐怖にとらわれてしまうのよ。
That's actually really interesting. Both times that she's brought it
あな
up.
たたちに抜けられた地獄なら必ず彼も抜けられます。私が助け出します。絶対に。
絶対に。この絶対の魔女ラムダデルタを前にしてあんたは絶対を誓うの？はい、
絶対に。
いいわ。かつてのあんたの後見人は私だもの。
That is true.
今のあんたは異なるとはいえ、最後に一つだけ世話を焼いてあげるわ。置き土産をあげる。
それは何ですか？
希望よ。あんたが絶対を捨てない限り必ず叶うという希望よ。いい？かつてのあんたは無限の魔女ベアトリーチェ。かつてあんたは不可能犯罪を謳った推理小説に憧れて、それによって魔女の存在を主張して魔法をあまたに認めさせ、魔女への階段の一つとしたわ。
推理小説。
そう。 かつてのあんたは立派な読書家、推理小説を愛し密室犯罪を愛した、不可能犯罪の超エキスパートだった。あなたはいくつもの密室トリックを読み漁り、究極にして一なる原始のトリックに気づき、それを魔法体系の核にしたわ。バトラーはあんたに言わなかった？かつてのあんただったらきっとこの窮地でもトリックを思いつくって。
Because she is the closed room master.
私がそれを認めるわ。絶対の魔女ラムダデルタの名で保証する。かつてのあんたならきっとこの密室トリックを解き明かしてみせる。それが私からあんたへの置き土産よ。じゃあね。あんたはこの絶対の魔女に対し絶対と誓ったわ。だからさよならは言わない。また近いうちに。
はい、また近いうちに。
It's interesting. The closed rooms to keep people out, to keep them away. It's a whole mystery aspect. But here, it's been completely flipped on its head. Yes, there is still mystery. There's also confusion. And this is turned into a trap of our own making. It's like we have the aspects of what make this, makes this a closed room. However, we're seeing it from the flip side. If we can somehow, I hate to say it, but, turn that chessboard around. Thank you, Kirie. Rest in peace and all that. Maybe there's a way that we can figure this out. If we were to pose this in a way that was like a, us trying to enter the room, How would this work out? I guess we really can't because a lot of the conditions go from the other side, but you guys get what I mean. We might be able to figure things out through a different perspective. Lambda Delta vanished into thin air. Similarly to basically how we've seen closed rooms in the past. Then in the smoking room of the witch, the two who held the title of Endless Witch were left behind. One had empty eyes, the other supported the first by his side. Ironically, it was the exact opposite of how their relationship had been in the previous game. Yeah, that is true, actually. Wowzers. That was a lot to take in. That was a lot to take in there. Now, I guess we do have the wedding ceremony coming up. Why is Erica doing that? I'm not entirely sure, but... Oh, hey, we're getting back to these two. All right, well, that'll be interesting. Chapter 16, baby. Save it on that one there. Well, I'm at a loss. I was looking forward to the pizza party and the drinking, but I guess we'll hold off for now. I do want to, say that the idea that Battler came up with should be something to highly consider maybe in some of our closed room situations in the past. How other people could either be in the room or be outside of the room and willing to help. Another thing that I brought up in the previous video is that I'm fairly certain that we were distracted before, whether we, were already in the room that we were investigating or something along those lines. There was a distraction of some sort that could have led to the actions of movement going on in what we thought was a closed room with a full-on corpse. I think there's a lot to really gain by going back, but let's finish up episode 6. Let's see what Battler can come to the conclusion on here. There's certainly a way out after all, so we'll see what he comes up with, and then I think we'll have all the keys, all the possibilities, maybe not all the possibilities, but we'll have pretty much the pattern, and we can figure out all the possibilities, maybe, just maybe. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.